Good evening, visitors, and welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Gerard Pratt, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Major Tariq El-Gaya. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony from around Australia. During the ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors and students on behalf of the following schools. From New South Wales, Ivanhoe Central School and Largs Public School. From Queensland, the Pacific Lutheran College, Batinia, and the Glennie School, Toowoomba. And from Tasmania, the Capernia District School. Students, ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Students, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through until the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we pay tribute to Pilot Officer Jack Mitchell, who was killed on active service with the Royal Australian Air Force on the 22nd of June, 1944. Born in Newcastle, New South Wales on the 2nd of June 1922, Jack Mitchell was the son of Joseph and Dorothy Mitchell. A keen sportsman in his youth, young Jack played football and cricket and was also keen in athletics, swimming and sailing. After finishing his school, he worked at BHP as a mechanical engineer trainee before attending Sydney University, where he was studying engineering. He was in his second year of his degree when on the 28th of March 1942, he enlisted into the Royal Australian Air Force and began training as a pilot. Around this time, he became engaged to Pauline Brown of Dubbo, but they were never to marry. On the 6th of October 1942, Jack embarked at Sydney for overseas service as part of the Empire Air Training Scheme. He was one of almost 27,000 RAF pilots, navigators, wireless operators, gunners and engineers who, throughout the course of the war, joined the Australian and British squadrons in Britain. Jack was one of many Australian airmen who undertook training in Canada as part of the Empire Air Training Scheme. In April 1943, Jack arrived in Britain and undertook further specialist training before being posted to 467 Squadron, Royal Australian Air Force. As part of Bomber Command, 467 Squadron flew four-engine Aero Lancaster heavy bombers. On the night of the 21st and 22nd of June, the Lancaster in which Jack was flying was shot down by flak while taking part in a raid over Germany. All of Jack's Australian and British aircrew were killed. He was just 22 years of age. He remains buried side by side with the rest of his crewmen in the British and Commonwealth war graves in Germany. Jack's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left among 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. This is one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Pilot Officer Jack Mitchell, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and a hope of a better world.
Students, please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, and nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you all for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.